Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Friday, the 23rd of February, 2024. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 closed up 0.4% today to 7,644 points, led higher by tech stocks and consumer discretionary companies. Utilities were the worst performers. Among the large caps, Aristocrat Leisure and Wesfarmers both rose 2%. WiseTech Global, James Hardie, Santos, Fortescue Metals and National Australia Bank jumped more than 1%. Woodside and Telstra both lost ground. The best performer of the top 200 was Afterpay owner Block. Its cost-cutting drive in the US in December quarter revenue of $5.8 billion beat analyst expectations, and on the local market, its share price was up 17%. Story number 2, pallets and logistics group Brambles upped its interim dividend and upgraded full-year forecasts after announcing a 17% jump in net profit for the December half. It continued to lift prices to customers and had more pallets available to transport goods to large retail customers. In fact, in North America and Europe, it had an extra 8 million pallets come back into its network. Its share price closed up slightly. Sales at Dusk Group have continued to slip as the impact of higher wages and cost of living pressures eat into the candle and diffuser retailers' bottom line. Its share price fell 9%. Footwear retailer Accent Group said net profit was down 28% for the 6-month period to the end of December. Like-for-like sales across its Hype DC, Athlete's Foot, Hoka and Skechers brands were down slightly. Over the year, it opened 72 new stores, taking its total to 888. Its share price finished down 5%. Story number 3, Woodside Energy has sealed a $2.1 billion deal with a giant Japanese LNG importer for the sale of equity in its huge Scarborough LNG venture in Western Australia. It confirms Asian interest in gas supplies from the region for decades to come. JERA, J-E-R-A, JERA, Japan's largest importer of LNG, will take a 15.1% stake in Scarborough and also intends to buy 6 LNG cargoes from Woodside for 10 years starting in 2026. The pair have also agreed to collaborate on business opportunities in clean energy sectors, including ammonia, hydrogen and carbon capture. According to the Financial Review, Woodside boss Meg O'Neill said the deal, which will reduce Woodside's holding in the Scarborough venture to 74.9%, builds on a long history of collaboration in LNG with Tokyo Electric and Chubu Electric. Now, Tokyo Electric and Chubu Electric are the owners of JERA. Story number 4, Israel will take part in negotiations this week in Paris with the United States, Qatar and Egypt on a potential deal for a ceasefire and release of hostages in Gaza, according to a report on Reuters. The last talks on a ceasefire failed 2 weeks ago when Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu rejected as delusional a Hamas proposal for a 4.5-month truce that would end with an Israeli withdrawal. Israel's Channel 12 television reported that the War Cabinet had approved sending negotiators, led by Mossad Intelligence Service, to Paris for talks on a potential deal to free more than 100 hostages kidnapped from Israel in October, whom Hamas is still believed to be holding. And finally, story number 5, it was quite the morning for chipmaker Nvidia on Wall Street. It released its results 36 hours ago after the market had closed. When Wall Street opened, Nvidia's share price surged more than 16% to value the company at $1.94 trillion. The company added $277 billion of value overnight in one session. That's the single biggest by any company ever. It's added $700 billion of value this year alone. It's the third biggest company on Wall Street now, behind Microsoft and Apple. Nvidia has been outperforming for 2 years, and its earnings a couple of days ago beat expectations, and it forecast higher sales. Nvidia makes the chips to power AI, and its biggest clients include Meta, Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon. Quite an amazing story, that one. That's it for the afternoon report for Friday, the 23rd of February, 2024. Michael Thompson, Adam Lang, and I will be back tomorrow morning with a weekend edition of Fear and Greed Business News. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.